Hi guys, right, welcome back to another question time with John. Today we've had quite a few questions, so I'm going to work my way through them and hopefully answer your curiosities. The first one is, can you explain how you measured the holes? This is referring to the steels where we may have slightly misaligned one of the holes that we cut. Can you please explain how you measured the holes you were going to do, drilled one of them wrong, and then fixed incorrectly drilled hole with everything in situ, please? What we're doing is we're holding one steel on top of another steel, and then we're getting a pen or a pencil inside, and then we're just basically drawing around that hole onto the steel beneath it, and then we're drilling it. So obviously it's not absolutely perfect. In an ideal scenario, we'd be able to get the drill into the hole and just drill straight through, which we may be able to do in a workshop. We may have some sort of tools to do that. However, we don't, so we're just literally using a pencil. So what that means is you can be slightly off by a couple of mil, and that couple of mil makes all the difference when you're trying to get a bolt through a hole and the bolt is the same size as the hole. If you're a couple of mil out, it's not going to go through. So all we do then, once the hole's already made, we then just use a blacksmith drill bit, high-speed drill bit, high-speed steel drill bit, or a blacksmith, whatever you want to call it, and basically just drill through the hole just to bore it out just a little bit bigger so the bolt just slots straight through. That's how we did it. The person who asked that question did say they'd use a Dremel or something like that. This steel's pretty thick, so it might take quite a while with the Dremel, but that's just the easiest way that we found to do it, is just bore it out with a blacksmith bit. Next question. John, many thanks for reading my questions. Just for clarity, is it now then A&E strategy to only do your own development projects? Yes. At the minute, we're not going to be doing any work for any clients, we're just going to be doing our own work in-house, and that is pretty much it. We have currently got, I don't know if I'm allowed to disclose the number, but a couple of properties that we are working on or going to be working on in the future. So we've got plenty of stuff in which we can bring the content, but it is all our own work. The advantage of us doing our own projects means that we can film the whole process from start to finish. Obviously, before, in some circumstances when we've been doing these projects, we haven't been able to film the whole process, which has been very frustrating for not only us but also for you, because you don't get to see the finished product. With us doing our own projects, it means we can literally film everything and there's no holds barred. So it is very good in that respect. Next question. Do you ever use oil to lube while drilling? Will make your bits last longer because it obviously has a higher boiling point. Right, this question, there's many different ways about doing this. So oil is generally a lubricant, and the whole point of drilling is to effectively cut through the material that you're drilling. So if you're lubricating that, the cutting action that you're doing is reduced, so it can take you longer to drill through things. What we like to do is just use water, spray water on the drill bit when you're drilling through metal, obviously, and what that does, it keeps everything nice and cool, and then there's no actual lubrication as such, it's just a coolant, so it keeps everything cool, which enables your drill bit to cut through easier. When things start to get hot, that's when they get soft, especially your drill bit, and then it can blunt it a lot quicker, and it makes the hole drilling take a lot longer, and ultimately knackers your drill bits up a lot easier. So the oil stuff, obviously it does have a place, but we don't like to use it because exactly that, it's a lubricant, so it doesn't cut as well, in our opinion. Obviously, I'm sure other people would have different opinions on that, but that's how we like to do it. Next question is, your steel plates don't sit directly on the concrete pad, but instead are suspended on 4 nuts. Do you have to fill the small void under the steel plate, or is it safe just to leave it on the 4 nuts? I did answer this in my last Q&A, I think it was. Head over to this one here, and the answer is in there. You're gonna have to watch the whole video and find out where it is though. I'm not gonna tell you where it is in this video. You have to head over there. After you watch this one, all of this one, head over there and check it out, the answer's there. Next one. How do you find such handsome staff? Well, you know, you just can't help it. Everybody's just really, really handsome guys, apparently. That's obviously somebody that we know that's written that, but thanks anyway. Next one. Can we have a question time with Pete? I would like nothing more than to have question time with Pete. I have asked Pete, and it does say underneath, somebody else has answered this. It says, Ryan hasn't got enough bleep time to film Pete. I did ask Pete if he wanted to do question time, and it would have needed lots of bleeps with his answer. So, no. Maybe in the future. Boo, boo, Pete. Come on, I know Pete's going to be watching this, so come on, Pete. The people have spoken. They want you to do question time. Next one. The steel column should have an expansion separation joint around the plate to allow for different expansion and movement between the steel and the concrete. Having a steel beam fixed to the top of the column is highly unusual and requires a structural engineer to explain. I'm not qualified enough to answer this question. We have never had to put a expansion joint in where 2 steels meet. We obviously use a structural engineer for all our structural calculations, and I've never had to use one in our house building. So I can't answer that. That's just what is spec'd, and that's how we do it. We go by the engineer's spec and we don't alter from that, because We don't want to be held responsible if anything's wrong. He's couched that, so that's what we do. So that's all I can say on that matter, I'm afraid. Next one, which I believe is the last one. Sorry, I'm sure you're sorry to hear. With all the bracing in place under the existing brickwork pillars above, how do you lay bricks under the brickwork without removing the bracing? So I'm assuming this question is referring to the needles. So when we put our steel in, there's obviously needles above holding the brickwork above. So what we do is we basically brick in between, we put our steel in underneath, and then we brick on top of the steel up and basically around our needles. Once all that brickwork's done, we can then remove the needles and then brick in the holes where the needles were. So it holds everything in place nicely. We're building everything up in situ to make sure it's all nicely supported. It will be coming up on a video very shortly. You'll be able to see that all happen, all get rebuilt, and then that will sort of explain itself a bit better. But yeah, it is quite straightforward, quite safe as well, a way to do it. So that's it. There are no more questions, I'm afraid. If you do have any more questions about any of our builds, well, about this build, but any of the videos, just pop them in the comments, let us know, and I will answer them as best I can. If you have enjoyed this little video, give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, share it, let everybody know we're getting very, very close now to 100k and we need your help. Oh, one last thing as well, True Trade. If you're in the trade and you're not yet signed up to True Trade, head over to truetrade.co.uk and access the huge amount of tools that are there to help you streamline your business and make your life a hell of a lot easier. Take care guys, see you next time.